Hey there, Steeler Nation. Welcome back to the channel where we talk all things Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive into today's exclusive and juicy news, let's take a moment to acknowledge one thing. Our Steelers are always striving for greatness. Year after year, they make moves to refine the team, aiming to bring us the wins we deserve. If you love the grind and passion of the black and gold, smash that like button right now and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps us going, and it helps us bring you the hottest Steelers news every single week. Now, let's talk about the quarterback situation that's got everyone buzzing. After a season filled with promise but ending in heartbreak, the Pittsburgh Steelers find themselves at a crossroads. Following a devastating 5-game losing streak to cap off 2024, the team faces tough questions about how to end its playoff victory drought, now stretching back to 2017. The frustration among fans is palpable, as every season seems to bring hope that ultimately fizzles out when it matters most. This past season, one of the biggest shakeups came at quarterback. Head coach Mike Tomlin made the bold decision to bench Justin Fields after a solid 4-2 start, opting for the veteran experience of Russell Wilson. Initially, it seemed like the right move. Wilson lit up the offense, leading the Steelers to a 6-1 record in his first 7 starts, but as the season progressed, things fell apart. 3 games in 11 days took their toll, and Wilson's performance faltered just when the team needed him most. Now the big question, is Justin Fields the answer for 2025? According to Steelers insider Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Fields is the most likely candidate to reclaim the starting quarterback position. Dulac cited the disconnect between Wilson and offensive coordinator Arthur Smith as a major reason the veteran QB may not return next season. Fields, just 25 years old, showed glimpses of potential during his 6-game stint as the starter. His dual-threat capabilities, both as a passer and a runner, gave opposing defenses headaches and added a dynamic element to the Steelers' offense that Wilson simply couldn't replicate. Tomlin himself acknowledged during his end-of-season press conference that Fields could very well take the reins again. But here's the kicker. Both Fields and Wilson are free agents heading into the offseason. The Steelers have a choice to make, and the decision could shape the franchise for years to come. Re-signing Wilson seems unlikely given his age, so 36, and declining mobility. Meanwhile, Fields represents the opportunity to develop a younger talent who still has room to grow. What do you think, Steeler Nation? Should the team go all in on Fields, or is there another option out there that the Steelers should consider? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Regardless of who ends up under center, one thing is clear. The Steelers need to improve their receiving core. Reports suggest the team might consider moving on from George Pickens, which has sparked heated debate among fans. Love him or hate him, Pickens has undeniable talent and is the best wide receiver on the roster. But his on-field antics and inconsistency have raised questions about his long-term future in Pittsburgh. If Pickens stays, the Steelers should focus on building around him. Calvin Austin III showed flashes of potential this season, but he's not ready to take on a WR1 role. The team desperately needs depth at the position to support their quarterback, whether it's Fields, a new free agent, or someone from the draft. This offseason will be crucial for General Manager Omar Khan and Coach Tomlin as they work to solidify the roster. Will they trade Pickens for assets, or will they double down on developing him into the star wideout the team needs? It's a storyline worth keeping a close eye on. And while we're on the topic of Tomlin, let's address the elephant in the room, trade rumors. ESPN's Adam Schefter recently revealed that another team, besides the Chicago Bears, reached out to inquire about trading for the long-tenured head coach. Schefter didn't name the team, but reported that the Steelers shut down the conversation immediately, citing Tomlin's no-trade clause and the organization's commitment to keeping him in Pittsburgh. While some fans are frustrated with the team's playoff struggles under Tomlin, many others recognize his value. After all, he's never had a losing season in 18 years as head coach. What do you think, Steeler Nation? Should the team entertain offers for Tomlin, or is he still the right man to lead this team back to glory? Let's face it, folks, This offseason could define the next decade of Steelers football. From deciding on the starting quarterback to addressing the wide receiver depth and navigating trade rumors surrounding their head coach, the front office has its hands full. The quarterback situation is perhaps the most pressing issue. Fields has youth, mobility, and a promising skill set on his side, but he'll need the right pieces around him to succeed. If the Steelers are serious about ending their playoff drought, they must also address the offensive line and add playmakers at wide receiver. And let's not forget about the fans. Your voice matters, Steeler Nation. Should the Steelers re-sign Fields and give him the keys to the offense, or is there another move you'd rather see them make? Would you trade Pickens for future assets, or is he a cornerstone for the team? And where do you stand on the Tomlin rumors? Time for a change, or stick with the proven leader? Let's start with the latest signing. The Steelers have added running back Jonathan Ward to the team on a futures contract, and this is one of those under-the-radar moves that could pay off big in the long run. For those unfamiliar, futures deals are essentially invitations for players to compete for a roster spot during spring and summer training. Think of them as opportunities for depth players or rising stars to prove they deserve a shot in the NFL spotlight. Ward, 27, isn't new to the grind. After going undrafted out of Central Michigan in 2020, he signed with the Arizona Cardinals and clawed his way onto their active roster. From there, he bounced between practice squads and active rosters, eventually landing with the Tennessee Titans. Last year, Ward spent time with the Steelers, appearing in 4 games and recording 5 carries for 22 yards. While those numbers might not leap off the page, it's important to remember the kind of player Ward is, a hard-working, versatile back who brings energy and a chip on his shoulder. The Steelers' running back room already has a star in Najee Harris, but adding depth at the position is always a smart move. Ward's experience and work ethic could make him an intriguing option as a backup or special teams contributor. Steeler Nation, what do you think? Could Ward be a sleeper pick to make the roster this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's talk about a player who's already generating buzz for next season. Offensive tackle Troy Fautanu. If you've been following the Steelers closely, you know Fautanu was the team's first-round pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, taken 20th overall. Unfortunately, his rookie season didn't go as planned. A devastating knee injury in practice before Week 1 sidelined him for the entire year. But here's the good news. Fautanu is on the comeback trail, and he's hungry to prove why the Steelers drafted him in the first round. Pro Football Focus has already named him an early breakout candidate for 2025, and it's easy to see why. At Washington, Fautanu was an absolute force, helping his team to a national championship while allowing just 2 sacks the entire season. His pass-blocking grade of 69.3 in limited snaps as a rookie shows he has the tools to protect the quarterback at the highest level. The Steelers have some big decisions to make on the offensive line this offseason. Dan Moore Jr., the current left tackle, is entering the final year of his contract and struggled down the stretch in 2024. Many experts believe the Steelers will move on, paving the way for Fautanu to step into a starting role. But where will he play? Will he take over at right tackle, where he was initially slotted, or could he slide into the left tackle spot? Either way, Fautanu's return could be the boost this offense needs to take the next step. These moves highlight a key theme for the Steelers this offseason: building a strong foundation for the future. With players like Fautanu poised to break out and under-the-radar signings like Ward adding depth, the team is setting itself up for success. But there's still work to be done. The offensive line, in particular, will be under the microscope. Protecting the quarterback, whether it's Justin Fields or someone else, is critical. Fautanu's development could be a game-changer, but the team will need to surround him with talent to create a cohesive unit. Could we see additional free agent signings or draft picks to shore up the line? Only time will tell. And let's not forget about the running back room. Najee Harris is the workhorse, but injuries happen, and having reliable depth is crucial. Jonathan Ward might not be a household name, but his story and determination make him a player worth rooting for. If he can make an impression during camp, he could carve out a valuable role on the team. All right, Steeler Nation, that's all for today's exclusive update. The team is at a critical juncture, and every decision they make this offseason will have ripple effects for years to come. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts. We'll be reading and responding to as many as we can. And don't forget to show your support for the channel by hitting that like button, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you never miss a video. Together, we'll get through this offseason and cheer our Steelers on to a brighter future. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, here we go, Steelers.